Hello, you're welcome to another episode of The Heart of the Matter. Today we're talking about creativity in the social media. And with me is one of our guests today. She is Nkem Okocha Akinsoto. She is somebody that I'm sure we're all going to be excited about talking to her. Nkem, you're welcome to The Heart of the Matter.
Thank you very much, sir.
Now, Nkem is a creative writer. You specialize in writing romantic novels or romantic work, and then you're also you're a blogger.
Yes.
And you've got quite a following, and you blog about Nigeria, and so that Nigerians both in Nigeria and in diaspora can follow, because you actually yourself live in Seattle,
yes.
In Washington State in the United States of America.
Yes.
Nkem, what led you into creative writing?
It's been something I started doing when I was much younger, like I should think maybe 12 years old. I just read a lot. My parents bought lots of books for us.
Were you reading a lot in Nigeria or
yes.
outside? Because they say Nigerian children don't
No,
read.
I actually grew up in Nigeria. I was born in Enugu, which was where I grew up, and there I was reading then. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So and it was then, as I read all the stories, most of them were children's adventures. One of the famous 5 series.
Okay. Edith Blyton.
Yes,
by
Edith Blyton. So I was kind of inspired, reading about children having all this fun and adventure. I remembered some of the adventures I had myself. Like then, my parents are from Delta State, so during Christmas we would go to Delta State, okay. And we had fun because it was vacation and there was no school, so we had fun. So I was motivated to write about such adventures I had with my sisters and siblings, but make it more fun, like fictionalize it and just write about little girls having fun. And as I grew up, that talent never went away. And more recently, when I moved to the United States in 2009, I decided to revive that part of me.
Okay.
So I went back to writing.
Okay, now let me just say this from what you said, that if you don't read, you're not likely to become a writer. For the benefit of the young people out there who want to become writers, you've got to start reading.
Yes,
okay.
Definitely.
Now, you have a pen name, Mine Whitman, so that people looking for you on the blog or what have you shouldn't be looking for Nkem Akinsoto, but be looking for Mine Whitman.
Yes.
Okay. And Mine Whitman is more of a translation of
my real name.
Your real
Nkem
name.
Okocha.
Okay.
So it actually started when I was much younger. When I was in secondary school, I was still writing those stories and sharing them with my friends. And some of the books I read then were written under pen names. Okay. When I discovered this as an older, maybe 15, 16, it was very interesting for me. So I preferred to write under a pen name to give to my friends to read those little scribbles I had then. So
Did they know that it was a pen name, or you just gave it to them and said, oh,
I think some of them guessed, because it's an obvious, if for people who are Igbo, it's an obvious translation.
Okay.
Yes. So, and since then, I decided to use it again when I started writing.
Have you actually written any novels?
I have written 2 books that are published. Yes.
Okay, wonderful. And could you tell us what they are?
Okay, the first one was published in 2009, and it's titled A Heart to Mend.
Okay.
The second one is A Love Rekindled, published last year, 2011.
Oh, wonderful. So you can get them.
Yeah,
Amazon.com.
Amazon.com, definitely, most online bookstores, and also in a few Nigerian bookstores.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, what about self-publishing? Because you published your books yourself.
Yes. Self-publishing has, the profile has risen in the past few years. It's always been there. It used to be called vanity publishing, where some people, if they couldn't find publishers, would publish themselves. Or if you felt you had a very small market, you could publish your books yourself, especially for that market. Okay. But recently, the profile has risen because more and more people find this new media, like blogging, Facebook, Twitter, as a way to share themselves and their writing with their followers, and sometimes they just decide to go ahead and publish for the followers. Yes.
Your 2 books you self-published.
Yes.
What were the challenges that you faced in publishing them yourself?
One of the challenges was getting an editor who I could trust to work with me. Because one of the reasons that I self-published, apart from knowing that I had a following, was that I tried to find a traditional publisher, but there's so few that were interested in this writing, romance writing, for a primarily Nigerian market, whether in Nigeria or in diaspora. So I wanted an editor who wouldn't want me to change so much of the book or the story. So getting that and someone who could do a good work was a challenge, as well as promoting myself to an even wider audience. Like at the time I published my first book, I think I had like 100 followers. Then I just did it as a lark, like let me just do this. But with the social media, now I have over 10,000 followers on my blog, Facebook, Twitter, and so many other platforms. So I think, you know, that was a challenge, and learning how to do it, because it's not something everyone can just jump in and do overnight. You just have to learn and continue to reinvent yourself. What are the high points of a social writer? Now, let me not say a social writer. Mine Whitman's social writing. What are the high points? What are the times you felt really good about what you do? And then, on the other side, what are the times that you felt discouraged and almost like throwing in the towel? I think the high points were getting a copy of my book and seeing my name on the cover and reading it myself, like in a book and not just on my laptop. And then getting the reviews, because I sent it out to several people, both Nigerian and non-Nigerian, and most of the feedback was overwhelmingly positive. That was another high point. And then since then I get emails, not just about relationships, but people who just say, oh, I enjoyed reading your book. You know, when I wake up and I open my email and I get those emails, I read them, it really makes me happy. And then also when people do send those problems they have and I prefer my suggestions and they write back saying, thank you so much, I appreciate your help. Those are really nice points for me. A high point that is coming is when you hit the bestseller list. I have actually hit the bestseller list. So that means you sold? I sold 20,000 copies of my first novel on Amazon Kindle. So that I was at the top of the romance genre bestseller list on Amazon UK. So congratulations! It was that was an awesome period, and it was really nice. Okay. Yes. Now the it's still, let me say, self-publishing is still very, very challenging. There are some people who still do not accept it fully as the same as traditional publishing. And when I come across people who not only feel it's not as good, but who are not open-minded enough to even give you a chance to even read what you've put on the table, it kind of makes me sad, like, oh, maybe I should have waited. Maybe I shouldn't have, you know, but I think overwhelmingly the positives outweigh the outweigh the negatives. But then one of the challenges I imagine with self-publishing is capital. Oh, okay. You have to fund it yourself. Yes, you have to fund it yourself. But why I didn't mention that is that I did do a lot of research, and what I found is that it can be as cheap as almost free if you go through the right channels to self-publish. You can self-publish with as little as $100. It might not be, it's not the immediate option for a first-timer, but those options are there. I'm just finding it a little difficult to understand how you could get. What about the production of the book? Surely that would cost more. Well, you know, it's called print on demand. Okay. So what you do is that the publishers or the printers this time, they don't have to print so many. So what they do is when people order, then they print it. So you don't have to put down that much money. And then also you have Kindle. So Kindle is an ebook publishing, so you don't need physical books. So you just upload your stuff on the internet and you're good to go.
Tell us about Niger Stories.
Okay, Niger Stories was an idea that came after my first book was published. Not only was I getting fan mail about my novels, I was getting mail from aspiring writers who either wanted me to advise them or to tell them, you know, how I did my own and how they could go about getting more visibility for their work. So I decided to start. First of all, I did a collaborative story on my blog then, and it was so popular. So I said, I can't keep this on my blog. I need to give it out so that everybody can have a stake on it. So I set up another website where people can register and have their own blogs and write and share their own stories. And mostly Nigerians who are, or most of the aspiring writers are Nigerians, so I called it Niger Stories.
Okay, and they're mostly in the romance?
No.
Okay.
This is more general now. People write on various genres. The only commonality is that the protagonists, the characters in the stories are Nigerian.
Okay.
So you have all sorts: Christian, romance, thrillers, literary, all forms of.
Anything about governance?
Definitely.
That's a subject that is...
Yes. So we also accept articles, but we feel that there are sites that are more dedicated to articles on governance, and so we kind of promote more of the fiction side, but we also accept articles if we feel like during the topical periods, like during the elections, during the 50th anniversary, we actually called for specific articles and stories to deal with this specific point in our national lives.
Okay, we'll be back in a moment. Viewers, stay tuned. We're going to come back to talk to Nkem later on in the program. When we come back from our break, we'll be talking to our next guest, Bukola Ogunyemi. Stay tuned. Welcome back to this segment of The Heart of the Matter, where we're talking to our next guest, Bukola Ogunyemi. Bukola, you're welcome to The Heart of the Matter.
My pleasure, sir.
You're a writer, you're a teacher, and a social evangelist.
Yes, sir.
And you have lots and lots of followers on social media such as Twitter.
Yes, sir.
And then on top of that, you've got a website called zebbook.com, and on which a lot of people post their blogs on politics, governance, current affairs, and so on and so forth. Yes. So that already is quite an accomplishment. Now, please tell me, deliver me. I want to know what social evangelism is.
Yeah, social evangelism is a concept I came up with to describe the role I think God has given to me to play in the society. Social evangelism means being a practice. It's the practice of and upholding social standards in the society, and being an evangelist of same. Being a social evangelist connotes that, for example, I won't do pornography, I won't go into smoking, I won't go into drinking, and on top of that, I'll be an evangelist of same through the various media. So I find myself opportunity.
You exemplify godly standards. That's what you
in the society
see is your commitment, and so that's what makes you a social evangelist.
Yes,
now, writing. How much have you written? Any books? Are you mostly on a blogger? What is your writing experience so far?
Yeah, I started writing quite early. I don't have published works, but I have finished works yet to be published, because I believe in timing. Timing is very, very important in publishing. So I'm actually waiting for the proper time to project myself in print media.
Do you believe in the future of this nation? Because you have a lot of writing about politics and governance, and you're involved in that. Does Nigeria have a future in your view?
Nigeria does have a future.
Great.
And it's in her hands. I say something. God made heavens and the earth. He chose heavens for himself, to reside. And from what we have, from the accounts we have, heaven is a beautiful place to be. But how has He given unto the sons of men to manage? The future of Nigeria is in our hands, not in the hands of God, because He has actually given us Nigeria.
It over to us.
He has handed it over to us. It's left to us to manage what we have. But I do believe Nigeria still has a future. If Nigeria does not have a future, then we still won't be here trying to get things right. Yeah, the road has been bumpy and everything, but the future still looks bright. Not just that we have a future, I believe it's bright.
Now, how can you, dealing with our youth, inspire them through your writing to get to that place where they are also making a valuable contribution to our development as a people?
Yeah, I always say something. Don't just write rhetorics. Don't write theories. Use your life as an example to these people. Let them know, okay, you're not the worst person in the world. Whatever it is you've gone through, some people have gone through worse and are where they are today. When I tell people I've done this, I've been here, they think that's how it has always been. Until a while back, I decided to share my story of how I even got into writing in the first instance. When I was young and a primary school student, I had to hawk during holidays for my mom. And when you resume back to school, they give you essay assignments, compositions. What did you do with your holiday? Now, there is no way I'm going to write as I went hawking. So I trigger my creativity. I write about, I create my fantasies. I went to Port Harcourt, to non-existent relatives. So when people saw that, okay, so from hawking in the streets, you're actually here talking to people, so it encourages others. So okay, whatever it is I've gone through, your background, like they say, is not an excuse for your back to be on the ground.
Okay, I like that. Now let's just talk very quickly about the other side of you, which is teaching.
Yes, sir.
You teach students.
Yes, sir.
How does it make you feel when you hear that the success rate at, say, NECO, which are some of the children that you teach, which are some of the groups of people that you teach, NECO, WAEC, is so poor? How does that make you feel, and what do you think you as a teacher can contribute to improving standards?
Yeah, I say something when we talk about politics and government talks about Vision 2020, and it's education that drives development, not the other way around. Go and get Chinese engineers, go and get American engineers, let them come and build refineries for you. Someday they are going to go back to their country. Yeah. You want to go into space, you want to do this. Someday they are going to have to leave you to do your own thing. And if that doesn't happen, that means they are going to feed on your resources forever. So you actually need to train your citizens as a nation to drive development. And it's quite rather sad that education is an aspect Nigerian leaders have not taken so serious. It saddens me when I hear 99% pass English and WAEC. I fear for the future of the nation, and as a teacher, it makes me want to do more. For example, in my state where I come from, Osun State, I have written proposals to the governor to have holiday lessons for free. I actually get a number of other young graduates like me that are ready to give their time to these young people. Most of them are lost. You ask an SS3 student basic simultaneous equations they cannot solve. How then do such become an engineer to build refineries? It can't happen, and we can't continue to depend on advanced nations for our technologies. We need to come up with ours. So the government has to take education serious, and I am also appealing to young graduates. One other thing I've noticed is the teaching force in Nigeria, especially in public schools. We have old men and women who actually cannot handle the vibrancy and the trancy of these adolescents. So we actually need young people to come in touch with them and relate with them. That way, what you teach them sinks better, because you actually understand what they are going through. You're on Facebook with them. After classes, you can interact with your students. So when you come back the following day to teach them, they feel free with you. You are not like a demon, like the devil they see teachers has. So it's very, very actually important that we get more young people into
Involved.
teaching, just like into agriculture.
Okay. I see that the teaching side of you is just as full of passion as the writing side of you. We're going to take a break now, and then when we come back, we'll be talking both with yourself and Nkem. Viewers, we'll be back in a moment with the final segment of The Heart of Matter. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the final segment of today's episode of The Heart of the Matter. It's been fun having you with us, and we're just going to talk with both our guests, Bukola and Nkem. And just a few minutes to round up. Bukola and Nkem you're both on social media. In spite of your publishing and writing books, you also have a lot of following on Facebook, Twitter, etc. And likewise you yourself. Now, for people who want to promote their brand, just give us one or two things that you would advise our viewers who want to promote their brand, whatever it is that they do, on social media.
Okay. I think the most important thing about brand promotion on social media is ingenuity. You have to be different. There are so many things going on the internet, on social media. Whatever it is you do, a comedian, a writer, whatever it is you do, there are lots of other people doing the same. So you have to be ingenious. There has to be a difference to the way you do your thing that will make people appreciate it better than they appreciate others. And to that, to your ingenuity, you need to have doggedness. And you need to associate yourself with the right people. As a writer, you need readers as friends, not musicians, you can have them as friends too, but you actually need to have people that are interested in literature who can promote your work for you. Like, okay, I read this, it's from my friend. Can you friends too read it? And that way, your work travels fast.
I guess that you probably said some of the things that Nkem would have said. Nkem, what would you recommend to our viewers to promote their uniqueness, their own brand on social media?
I think it's consistency, like you mentioned. You have to be dogged. You have to stick at it, work at it. It needs a lot of hard work. And you have to learn how to do these things to make it easier for yourself. Like most of these social media accounts, you can link them up. Some people think, they say, mine, you don't sleep. We see you online all the time. How do you do it, And I say, I sleep. It's just that I use the social media the way it's meant to be used. So you can automate so many things. You use feeds, you use scheduling, and you connect your Facebook to your Twitter, to your blog. And then once you say something on Twitter, it comes to your Facebook, or once you put something up on your blog, it goes out to your Facebook and to your Twitter so that all your followers can be updated at the same time. So you have to learn also how to do these things, so you don't just start. But the obvious starting point is to start somewhere. Usually people will advise you to have a website. This could be a free blog, and then set up a Facebook and a Twitter and connect it to it. So once you can start from there, then hard work. The more you publish, the longer you stay in the game, the more people get to know you.
I noticed that even newspapers have blog sections now.
Yes.
So it's changing. Well, thanks very much to both of you, Bukola and Mine Whitman, for being on The Heart of the Matter. We do look forward to hearing from more of you, and I promise I will do what I can to follow you also on social media. Viewers, I'm sure that you've learned quite a lot from our guests. We would like to see you again same time next week. So until we meet again next week, stay mightily blessed.